Yeah, if you wanted it. Transition. It's muzzled. Yeah. Have my attorney to the left and say, hey Ken, how are you? Fine. I think it's springtime.
How are you, sir?
Doing well. How are you doing?
Good.
What Virginia says.
That was a mess down there.
I feel good about our path forward.
I'm glad it's done.
Well, I think we got Timber Ridge lined up too. So
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
that's a good project.
I'm excited about that.
That's a good project. Well, and,
Good afternoon, welcome to the PPO meeting for the month of April. I think a few more people coming in. Let's go ahead and go to item 2 on the agenda, which is roll call.
Mr. Chair. Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Clinton? Here. Mr. Billy Martin is at a VACO meeting in Richmond today. Mr. Vindrikowski already let us know he would not be able to make it. Vice Chair North?
Yeah, here.
Mr. Radford? Mr. Vollison? Ms. Moon Reynolds? Mayor Turk? Mr. Holliday? Mr. Lyles? Mr. Stovall?
Here.
Mr. Price? Mr. Stewart?
Here.
Yes. Mr. Wagner? And Mr. King?
here.
We have a quorum, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Item 3, approval of consent agenda items, but item A is approval of agenda. Item B is action on the March 23rd RVTPO minutes on pages 3 through 27. Do I have a, all in favor of a motion to approve the consent agenda item, say yes? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And we move on to item 4.
Mr. Chair, we actually need a motion in a second. We jumped right to the.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Mickey. Second.
Second.
All in favor, said aye.
Aye.
Unopposed. Item 4, remarks by the chair. Someone came in and I forgot what I was doing. Today we are live streaming our meeting on the Roanoke Valley-Alleghany Regional Commission's Facebook page, which is part of the ongoing effort to improve public awareness of this important undertaking by the Roanoke Valley Transportation Planning Organization. We want to remind anyone watching that they are always welcome to address the TPO by one of our public hearings or in person during the public comment period at each meeting. TPO staff were pleased to host a Zoom call with Aaron Belt, VDOT's decarbonization lead, and several locality planning staff earlier this month. Ms. Belt provided information on the various federal funding programs, investing in electric vehicle charging infrastructure, and VDOT's role in supporting local efforts. As you'll see later in the UPWP presentation, the TPO will be undertaking a regional electric vehicle charging station study to better prepare for future rounds of federal funding. A recording of the Zoom call is available for locality staff that were not able to attend the meeting. Tonight, the Roanoke-Blacksburg Regional Airport is hosting a public meeting to review its draft master plan. The meeting will be held at the Holiday Inn Roanoke Airport Conference Center beginning at 4 o'clock, and will be an opportunity to review recommended improvements to the airport's terminal, general aviation facilities, and runway. And at your seat, you'll have a flyer that explains the meeting tonight. Did you have anything you want to add to that?
No, other, we'll take all friends available. It's a open house format, so you'll walk in and it'll kind of be a self-guided tour, but just kind of run through what we see as the needed recommendation and alternatives for the airport as growth occurs over the next 20 years or so. And certainly welcome any input, positive or negative. We want to hear everybody's input. We're not trying to do anything other than meet the needs of the region. So.
Thank you very much, Mike. Appreciate that. And I look forward to the day when one of our U.S. senators brings that big old cardboard check $150 million, so we get that runway expanded. Seriously though, I do think that starting with the master plan is a big step in that direction.
Yes, it is.
Alrighty, item 5 on the agenda is approval of the FY24 Unified Planning Work Program, which is the UPWP referred to a bit earlier in my remarks. The chair recognizes Brian Hill with the commission. Brian, you probably won't stay up there for about an hour or so, because it looks like it's the Brian Hill show.
I was going to say, you stole my thunder on that, Mr. Chair. I was thinking a cot or a tent might even be appropriate, but thank you. As you all recall from last month's meeting, your first review of the annual Unified Planning Work Program, we had a couple of new things to add to the UPWP, and one of which is a presentation that I made in connection with a new federal carbon reduction program that comes out of the IIJA funding and is into federal law. Well, that, as we mentioned, will be a new program, as well as we intend to develop a carbon reduction strategy that essentially mirrors that of the states. The state has, to my understanding and knowledge, yet to develop that, and we'll be developing that in the coming months. But the carbon reduction program is similar in nature. We would think and hope the way, in order to structure it like the STBG program, so that you'll see more and hear more about those things later in the show this afternoon and in the coming months. We had a very good discussion at the this month's TTC meeting, and prior to that had various different stakeholder conversations. And if you're following along in the staff report, staff recommended a series of additions and changes to the draft UPWP that you all and the TTC saw, and I'm just going to highlight those. The TTC did subsequently recommend those changes, and those major things are the addition of the 4-year update to the 2018 Roanoke Valley Greenway Plan, removal of the Washington Avenue Corridor Improvement Study as it was determined by Roanoke County that it's not a current priority. As was already mentioned, the addition of a regional electric vehicle charging study, and there was some language clarification on the precise definition of Justice 40, which is to clarify that it seeks to advance environmental justice by channeling at least 40% of the benefits of transportation grants, programs, and initiatives to disadvantaged communities. There are some. The UPWP is broken into essentially seven major categories. Regional transportation planning. So examples are of that would be the electric vehicles charging study, transportation funding, pursuit and programming, various amendments to the TIP, the STBG, TA schedule modifications, those funding cycles, smart scale prioritization for round 6, things like that. The congestion management process, that's a bit self-explanatory. You'll be hearing in the next month or so an annual update on that. Public transportation planning, a variety of public stakeholder engagement, conferences for staff, various different committee meetings, etc. Complete streets planning. The Greenway Plan is a prime example of that. That's a relatively new category. And then general technical assistance. So without belaboring that too much, the consideration of the resolution we have following the staff report, we would recommend, as well as the TTC, approval of the FY24 UPWP.
Okay, thank you, Brian. Does anybody have any questions Not, I'll entertain a motion to move action on item number 5 to approve the FY24 UPWP.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
A second. All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Ayes have it. Motion stands approved. Item 6, approval of an amendment to the 2045 Roanoke Valley Transportation Plan, including adoption of the 24 through 27 Transportation Improvement Program, referred to as the TIP, pages 30 and 31 of your agenda package. The chair recognizes Brian Hill.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And this is seeks to accomplish a variety of different things, as is evidenced by the title, if nothing else. As you all are aware, this body adopted or I should say approved the RVTPO's Roanoke Valley Transportation Plan at their January meeting. At that point, we had not received information germane to the, as we like to call it in-house, the tip sheets, the project sheets from VDOT Central Office at that time. And the TTC had previously made a recommendation saying that pending the receipt of those, that they would recommend approval. At the subsequent TPO meeting, we'd not received that. In January, we'd not received those tip sheets, so the RVTP was approved without the inclusion of the tip, which for the first time ever has been combined with the RVTP. So the purpose of this amendment is really twofold. Number one, it's to incorporate those projects that are projects and project grouping that were discovered to be new from the receipt of the tip sheets, as well as the public engagement that occurred back in October that did include the tip. There had been substantial enough change for us to warrant to go out to public hearing. I beg your pardon, public comment, which we will have a public hearing on. So just a couple things to keep in mind that we're trying to accomplish here is those substantial changes, amend the RVTP to revise an existing transit project, which with the name and scope change, and that is the new name is the Construction Maintenance Service Lot, Valley Metro Project, GRT 0006. The cost estimate did not change. The new transit priority project to pursue, and this is again adding to the current RVTP. As a result, these projects will also be in the TIP as well. Electric charging infrastructure to essentially facilitate the already ongoing purchase of electric vehicles, electric buses. That's a system-wide $500,000. And then in terms of new highway projects, there are 3 Salem district-wide buckets of projects, if you will, and they are under project groupings of traffic and safety operations, preventive maintenance for bridges, and preventive maintenance system preservation. Also, that was a traffic, let's see, I believe the traffic and safety operations was a new category in the TIP that was not utilized prior to now. And then there is a new transit project, GRT 0007, the purchase of automated data processing hardware for administrative purposes. This had been a project in the past, was removed, and there's again need for that. That is the $20,000. For items such as amendments under our public participation plan, a 14-day public comment period is required, and that was held from April 6th to April 19th. And if you'll allow me just a minute or two, I will I will talk about just some of the results. The more in-depth summary results are in your packet, so I won't go over everything. But essentially, we did have a total of 130 community members that participated in the survey. They were asked questions on the items that I just mentioned, the transit project with name and scope change, the priority project to pursue, the new TIP project grouping, the new highway projects, and the new transit project to be included in the plan. On the whole, there were all responses were positive in terms of supporting the inclusion or change that was put forth. There were a few comments of relative note in each, and I won't get into those, but they are there for your reading. So that we were able to utilize our regular channels of soliciting public input through email blasts, through social media, and some direct contact. Pardon me. We did ask some demographic questions that we've asked in the past: race, ethnicity, zip code, and household income. Some of the underserved populations. Let's see, we're still work in progress on getting those to particular zip codes of interest, especially those that are noted in environmental justice circles. 8% of Black African American, 2% American Indian or Alaska Native, and 4% Asian. And the concentration of zip codes for respondents were roughly in Roanoke County, with the 24018 zip code being the highest at 15, 24012 and 015, followed by with 11 respondents. And then again, focusing on 24017, that's one of the environmental justice zip codes. There were 7 there. So that's really all I wanted Mr. Chair to mention about that. So at this point, I will defer to the chair to open the public hearing.
Okay, thank you, Brian. What Brian just went over is pages 32 of your agenda packet to pages, I think it is 39, excuse me. So anyone got any questions on any of those items that Brian just went over? Yeah, yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman, I would just say from the TTC's perspective, we viewed a lot of these changes almost as sort of housekeeping changes, just ensuring that the legal sort of framework was in place to spend a lot of this money. It didn't substantially change any priorities or direction of the TPO.
Good, thank you. Any more questions? Thank you, Tony. There being no more questions, well, that was part A. Part B is a public hearing on this. Anyone signed up has 3-minute limit per speaker. I will open the public hearing. Anyone here to speak? Do you have anybody signed up?
Do not have anyone signed up, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Does anyone need to speak on this in the room presently or online? If not, I'll close the public hearing and we'll move to item C, 6C, which is consideration of resolution amending the Roanoke Valley Transportation Plan, page 40 of your packet. Do I have a motion to amend the Roanoke Valley Transportation Plan concerning item 6C?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Clinton. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Ayes have it. 6C carries. Moving on to item 6D, consideration of resolution adopting the FFY 24 through 27 Transportation Improvement Program as a component of the Roanoke Valley Transportation Plan, item page 41 of your packet. That said, item 6D, do I have a motion to adopt the Roanoke Valley Transportation Program?
So moved for adoption.
All right, do I have a second? Mr. Johnson seconds it. All those in favor say aye. Ayes have it. Anyone, any noes? No noes. Ayes carry. Motion passes. Moving on to number 7 of our agenda. Approval of available and preliminary allocation to the carbon reduction program found on pages 42 through 45 of your packet. Chair recognizes Brian Hill again.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. It's no surprise that I have a few pages here. All right, so let's look at I guess the second reading and of the preliminary and available allocations for the carbon reduction program. As I mentioned last meeting, we presented on that, and there is $1,763,226 available in available FY22 and 23 funds, and also 24. Preliminary 22 and 23 available in 24. So those are the funds that we're looking at to allocate to the program. A little later in the year, we would then come to you with a scoring process, and a process again similar to that of SDBG for FY25 through 29. As I've mentioned before in a couple of the previous items, that we will be developing a carbon reduction strategy that is more aligned to the state, but for purposes of the here and now, the guidance was from VDOT to look at existing projects that had some sort of funding deficit or need for additional funds, and that could start quicker if the funds were more readily available. So we took that to heart, and staff met with VDOT, Michael Gray and Mr. Anthony Ford and some others, and we developed a list of 3 projects that we felt were deserving of that, and it just so happened that they were also SDBG projects. So if you recall, in March, this body approved the financial plan for the SDBG, and in so doing, it approved a variety of increases for the 3 projects that I'll mention. Number 1, from the town of Benton, the Walnut Avenue bicycle and pedestrian accommodations from 5th Street to the city and town limit. In Roanoke County, the Roanoke River Greenway through Explorer Park, and again, in the town of Benton, Walnut Avenue bike and ped accommodations from Wesley Avenue to 1st Street. So at that meeting, and then respectively, those amounts were increased by $200,000, $1,275,000, and $200,000. So the idea is that the funds from carbon reduction would then take over those that are already currently in the SDBG program, allowing the freeing up, if you will, of that 1.7 million for SDBG projects in the future. And so going back to some previous discussions of the board, that if ever there was a point at which the Elizabeth Greenway in Salem, there were funds for that, the TTC pointed out very astutely in their last meeting that this balance entry could, in effect, instead of going to balance entry like we had, VDOT and staff had originally thought and suggested, that this could cover the Elizabeth Greenway project. So just a few notes on, why this is good business, why this is good to do. So these identified projects, again, recently had received RSTP or STBG funding. They've not been placed under project administration, so they're able to be swapped, if you will. The agreements have not been made with Roanoke County or Benton yet. They are eligible under the carbon reduction program for funding. And again, the schedules are such that they can be moved up, if you will, to receive funding more immediately than others, and of course bring up additional STBG funds. So there is a resolution that follows that would in effect recommend those three projects for receipt of carbon reduction program funding. And the next item, and we have there should be on the back of the resolution, there is a financial plan, and again, very similar in nature to what you've been used to seeing in the STBG program. So I'll sort of transition that. Of course, we're seeking the resolution seeks to approve those funds and their allocation. The next item, as a result of them being STBG funds, the TTC did recommend to administratively adjust the STBG financial plan, and that will be our next item, and Allison will discuss. But I would.
Okay. Let's go ahead and move on
Sure.
Item 7, which was pages 42 through 45. Does anyone have any questions for Brian on that part of number 7, pages 42 through 45, which he just explained? Any questions? There being no questions, then we'll look for a motion to approve and move item 7, which is the CRP financial plan. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Motion to approve from
Second.
Turk. Second, Mr. Bullison, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, this will require a roll call vote.
Okay. Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Clinton?
Yes.
Mr. North?
Yes.
Mr. Volleson?
Yes.
Mayor Turk?
Yes.
Mr. Stovall?
Yes.
Mr. Stewart?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Moving on to item 8, which is approval of adjustment number 1 to the FY 24 through 29 Surface Transportation Block Grant, pages 46 through 50 of your agenda package. Chair recognizes Allison Stinnett. Allison?
Hello, thank you so much. So I don't want to repeat any information that Brian just told you, so just sort of a recap of what we just said. At the March 23rd policy board meeting, the STBG financial plan for FY 24 through 29 was approved with the additional funding for the 3 projects that were previously mentioned, the 2 in town of Benton and the 1 in Roanoke County. So this is essentially just to show this in creating a new financial plan, to show this changing between the funding from what we had approved and then removing it or moving it to the carbon reduction financial plan. So we're not actually changing the numbers, but to show the difference where it was on this financial plan and it will be on the other one that was just approved. So hopefully that makes sense. Just to say, the TTC recommended that the STBG financial plan to facilitate the movement of the funds from STBG to CRP for the previous additional request, which would decrease the Walnut Avenue bicycle and pedestrian accommodation the Fifth Street to the city town limit by 200,000, to be on the CRP financial plan, and then the decrease of the Roanoke River Greenway through Explorer Park, the 1,275,000, and the third decrease of the Walnut Avenue bicycle pedestrian accommodations from Wesley Avenue to First Street by 200,000. And then the TTC also recommended utilizing the 996,681 in additional STBG funds that were freed up from the moving of the funds from STBG to the carbon reduction program and to the Elizabeth Greenway. That was a previous recommendation from the TTC, and so that would be an increase of those funds in this financial plan. Thanks. Right on the next page, it shows it demonstrates the changes mentioned by the recommendation, red showing the decrease and the green showing the increase, and just to identify the areas that would be changing. And then the next table would just demonstrate what the updated or adjusted financial plan would be upon approval.
Okay, thank you very much, Allison. Any questions for Allison on these changes and these spreadsheets?
Mr. Chairman,
Decreasing and increasing the amounts.
I don't have any questions, but I do on behalf of the town of Benton, want to thank you. Thank you, committee. You know, I think we, like she said, we had to go to the well for what, 3 more times during this project, but actually I traveled that way today. It looks really good. Invite y'all to come down and look at it. Once you look at it, go about 5 more blocks and eat some barbecues off the chain and Pokey Joe's. They just opened up and he's knocking it out of the park. So anyway, I do want to thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Are there any other comments or questions for Allison about this agenda item? Okay, well, with that said, the action that is requested here is to approve Adjustment 1 to the Surface Transportation Block Plan for 24 through 29 fiscal year. Do I have a motion to move item 8?
So moved.
Do I have a second? Second, Mr. Stewart. Okay, we'll need a roll call vote on that. Mr. Director.
Mr. Chair, Mr. Johnson,
Yes.
Mr. Clinton,
Yes.
Mr. Chair, Mr. North,
Yes.
Mr. Mollison,
Yes.
Mayor Turk,
Yes.
Mr. Stovall,
Yes.
Mr. Stewart,
Yes.
and Mr. King.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Moving right along. Item 9, other business. Today is, not today, but on May 16th, there will be a 2023 6-year improvement plan meeting, May 16th at 4 o'clock at the Salem Civic Center Community Room in Salem. Anyone have any comments on that, Mr. King?
Just encourage everyone to come, and it'll be this is one of those times where the round 5 of smart scale projects gets added to the 6-year improvement program. We were very fortunate to receive about a little over $50 million of the high priority or statewide pot in the projects within the Salem district. So it was a good round. And there's a lot of good projects there. We look forward to delivering those for the benefit of the network, and welcome everyone to come and share comments and support for those investments.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Forward to it. You don't suppose there's gonna be a surprise for the governor bringing $300 million to 81 southbound there, do you?
I would welcome that. I have knowledge of it.
All of it.
Email yet.
I have no knowledge, but would certainly welcome.
You know, there's $200 million roughly, I believe, in the budget that hadn't been approved yet for 64's completion there east of Richmond, which is good because that's how we travel and everything. But the other side of the mountain, we want to see if we can get some more money in the future. There's a couple things in that budget bill on 81 that's needs to be approved on the public-private partnership study. So 81 is the priority of everybody. So you just got to find the money and get it allocated. So let's keep our fingers crossed we can get that one day. Any more questions comment period now, on item 10 from any of the policy board members and a comment.
Mr. Chair, I'll just
Yes,
add to my earlier remarks, open house this afternoon at the Holiday Inn Airport for the airport master plan. Everybody's invited. I do not want anybody coming in disappointed. We do not fly airplanes. We don't sell tickets. We don't decide where they go or how much you charge or any of that kind of stuff. This is about the airport and what we need to do to meet the region's needs going forward. And we very much would appreciate all input.
And so the master plan presentation today is one of two, is that correct? Another
Correct.
one's in June?
We'll do one more open, public meeting in, June the 8th. And there's also a, opening up this afternoon, a website that, you can also go on and see the information, provide any comments that you have. So very much appreciate all comments.
And this is needed, the master plan is needed to be adopted at the end in order for the FAA, in order to seek funds from the FAA.
Yeah, and that's really what this is about. It's a blueprint for the future, both in capital outlay of where you put it and how you fund it. And it's a process that's very much restricted and regimented by the FAA. So we're anticipating at this point a submittal to the FAA in June, July timeframe. Don't know how long it'll take them to approve it, but it's that's a necessary first step so that we can move forward and doing all the steps we need to.
Okay, good deal. Thank you very much. Anybody else have any comments at this time?
Mr. Chair.
Yes, sir, Mr. King.
Yeah, the first full week of May is Public Service Week, and we will be celebrating that with our employees that serve. But you know, everyone, I think everyone around this table is in that capacity in terms of public service. So just highlight that. Been recognized officially by Ronald Reagan in 1984, so it's been celebrated since that time. I think probably varying degrees of focus, but certainly at state, I guess the local, state, and federal level is the very foundation of the society that we are a part of. So I highlight that. Thank each of you for your service, and certainly encourage you to thank those that serve in your communities. So.
Thank you, Mr. King, and thank you on behalf of the TPO for everything VDOT does for this area in the Salem district. We appreciate that. We know we get a good bit of money, but we're always looking for some more. And if you ever need any help in that regard, just ask some of us in this room. We like going to Richmond, and we like standing up there talking in front of some of those committees and telling them our needs. So appreciate that.
We certainly, I think many of us around this table have the benefit of spending our professional careers working to benefit the communities that we are a part of. So it's a unique opportunity. So thank you.
It is. Thank you very much. Anyone else? Okay, well, I'll entertain, if no one else going once, going twice, motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
I didn't think you could have got through that agenda that well.